This is Commander Shepard. Just wanted to let you know, Bad Movies Rule is my favorite podcast on the Citadel.
Welcome back to Bad Movies Rule, the worst movie podcast ever created. And today, we're talking about a movie that explores what happens when you take the power of gymnastics and fuse it with karate. You get Gymkata.
Like the president before Reagan?
What?
Jimmy Carter?
Oh, no, Gymkata.
Gymkata.
Oh.
Jim Carter. That's a totally different movie.
I may have watched the wrong stuff.
Oh, not
Great.
again.
Just great.
Now I'm picturing a whole different movie
Yeah.
where Jimmy Carter is sent into some country and
That would be
that'd
amazing.
be
Ruins
crazy.
that
That'd
one,
be
too.
that'd be nuts. How's everybody doing today? Clint Bush is with us. Clint, this is episode, I think, 30-something.
We'll just say that.
Yeah, stop
Yeah.
showing off.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. We're having a great time. I know I didn't go with the good. Sorry.
No, I actually
Skipped
prefer.
it.
I'm glad that you've dropped that one. I was half expecting you to come in with kind of a mullet today.
If the mullet wasn't like starting to be kind of the side trend going on, I would have absolutely done it, but I can't be that dude.
It is kind of coming back.
Yeah, that's weird. So the bowl cut should be in about 5 years.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'll be dialed for that.
We got to get him do a movie where there's a bowl cut with the main character so he can pull that off for us.
Absolutely.
Kurt Mummer's with us this morning. Kurt, how are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. And just so you know, I'm everybody's side trend.
Wow.
Kurt Mummer, everybody's side trend.
All right, fantastic. Joining us for the first time since, do you remember the last episode you were on?
Yeah, I was on Killer Clown.
Oh, that's right. So it hasn't been that long.
No, it's not
It's
too
the
long.
first time since the last time.
The first time since the last time. Joe Gorotowski's with us today. Joe, he gets me excited when this crew is in the house, the four of us. How are you?
I am.
We need to go crush a buffet after this. I just get that feeling, you know?
Just show up.
Just like put the place out of business, you know?
Put the owner in just
One plate, sir.
That's right.
One plate.
That's right.
Mind your business.
Tell everybody to get out of here.
All you can eat, not eat all you can.
That's right.
I don't get all these stains on my shirt without taking 2 plates up to the buffet table.
Yeah. I'm excited about the buffet and the show.
Well, good. So am I. And I'm excited that you guys are listening. So thank you for everybody that's tuned in today to Bad Movies Rule. Will you do me a favor and just subscribe, whatever platform you found us on? We're basically anywhere podcasts are findable. Subscribe to us so that the next time there's a new episode, you'll get notified. And we generally, I say generally, we've done it so far every single week, release a new episode every Friday morning. And we'll probably do so till the end of time. So make sure that you're subscribed so that you can stay on top of things. And you know, for the last few episodes, we have video on YouTube. So it's actually a little bit of a different episode if you go catch us on YouTube. We have the curated experience here on your podcast platform where it's edited nice together. But if you want the uncut episode, which not only includes everything that gets cut out that's deemed not good enough to be in the episode, but also all the stops and starts and coughs and ums and all of that too.
And my stuttering.
Yeah. So if you want all that, you know, hop over to YouTube for a different experience. We're over there. You can find us. The YouTube channel is my name, James Hauser, but you just search Bad Movies Rule and the whole playlist will come up 1 through 20. Well, now at this point, 30. So we appreciate everybody for listening. Thank you very much.
That's also bad with 1D.
That's right. The movie that we are talking about today is called Gymkata, and I just want to play a little something for you guys, a little bit of audio here, because I feel like this just sets the whole mood.
His name, Kurt Thomas. His title, 3-time world gymnastics champion. His assignment, a secret mission for the United States government. His only weapon, himself. And
thought he said his
that's
feet.
all he needs. Combine the discipline, the timing, and the power of gymnastics with the explosive force of karate. And a new, all-powerful martial art is born. Gymkata. Kurt Thomas becomes Jonathan Cabot. He must penetrate a mountain fortress to compete in an
Sorry,
ancient
what?
savage ritual. They call it the game.
Well, good name for it.
Yeah.
But
Very
nobody
accurate.
wins. And nobody lives. Until now. When gymnastics and karate are fused, the combustion becomes an explosion. And a new kind of martial arts superhero is born. Gymkata.
Yeah, there you go, folks.
That sounds way more exciting than the actuality. And there's a lie right in it. They say
Is there?
nobody lives until now.
Well, we'll get into all that. It's well, it's not like any movie I've ever seen. Let's talk about the vitals. Who put together this incredible piece of film? This is the first amazing fact of what I'm sure will be many in this episode. This movie was directed by Robert Klaus, who's the same guy that directed Enter the Dragon, one of the greatest martial arts films of all time.
Was this like his first dibs? Like at trying to
This was his high school.
create a martial arts
This was something
movie?
he did in high school, just for
No,
some
this is
experience.
like 10 years after Enter the Dragon.
Oh.
So he directed
After.
that Bruce Lee film that, like, it's the most famous, Bruce Lee's most famous film, right?
Never seen it.
I saw it a long time ago, but I mean, regardless, everyone knows, even if you've never seen it, you know what Enter the Dragon is.
Absolutely.
So I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, oh, this has got to be a first-time director or a nobody or some kind of B-movie guy. No. He directed other Bruce Lee stuff, too. Robert Klaus directed Gymkata.
He basically got paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
And
What was the budget?
that was it.
The budget on this movie was $4 million,
Okay.
and it made money.
You're right. It made money barely then at that point. I mean, not barely. I would
How
take
much did it make extra?
5.8, I think.
Like 5.8, so just about $6 million.
So 1.8, I mean, I'm not going to shake a stick at that, but that's not a...
And really, I don't know if that really is a profit when you throw in, all the other marketing expenses and everything else.
Right. Having to have a guy
Have all that
announce
stuff,
it.
right?
saying,
You got to pay the trailer guy. You heard that guy
Right.
wasn't free.
No.
It was the best part of the movie so far.
Yeah.
He's going to... Yep, nope.
So yeah, so they had a big time director. The movie was written by Charles Robert Carner, who wrote The Untouchables, which is another awesome, famous movie.
Yep.
A few years later. And the movie starred Kurt Thomas, Techi Agbayani, which is the princess. And the only reason I know how to pronounce her last name is because of Major League Baseball, because there was a guy with the last name Agbayani that played baseball. I was like, oh, I know how to say this. So thank you, baseball. And Richard Norton were basically the three stars of the movie. It currently sits at a 4.4 on IMDb, which is
pushing it.
basically
Solid.
in the toilet, and has a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. So,
I don't understand why.
I have an entire sheet right here, just ready to go over it. Just
So here's what
I'll be there.
I want to just get your guys' general impressions of the movie. The movie for the uninitiated, if you couldn't tell by the trailer, is basically in one sentence: gymnastics guy learns karate to go fight and compete in a game in another country.
Game.
It's as dumb as it sounds.
It is.
Clint, what are your just give me your baseline overall impression of the film?
All right. I did not go into this with high hopes, I must say. I actually woke up.
What?
Yeah,
You?
I know.
come on.
I know we were making plans to watch it together and
Shut the
everything, but I was
front
like,
door.
I didn't know if it was going to work out, so I watched it on Saturday morning. Then I got the wonderful experience to watch it again Saturday evening with my good friend Kurt Mummer here.
Oh, you guys got to do it together.
Absolutely.
and,
yeah.
Awesome.
and Evelyn, she watched the whole thing with us.
Wow.
Yeah.
She watched 87%, but from start to finish with a couple of walkouts and back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was going to come over, but I heard that you don't have a couch, so
No. I'm couchless.
I wouldn't come over for that.
Yeah.
So just
I tried on
Just
a
wanna
little
say that.
tiny beanbag. No good for me. Yeah.
Not for us.
Yeah. My daughter was like, this is mushy now.
So what did you think?
I can't say that I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it as much as I wanted to hate it. I really, really wanted to lay steaming waste to this movie. That's like it said, I just wanted to smear it all over it. I know you're going to, which get after it, but like legitimately, it's like, all right, it's there. It's dumb. It's stupid.
Okay.
But it's on. I can watch that.
Okay.
It could be in the background. I wouldn't watch it.
All right, so you were surprised that it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to
I
be.
thought it was going to be worse than Megaforce, and it's probably right there equal.
All right, fair enough. Kurt, what did you think when you watched this movie?
You know what? At first, I was like, I don't know. I'm really going to try hard. Like, I went into Megaforce, let's just say, since Clint compared that.
Yeah.
Megaforce, I went into it, obviously there was a sleepless night. I was like, I'm going to watch this movie. And I had no hopes whatsoever. I went into this loving karate and loving gymnastics, and I was highly disappointed. I will say, though.
You want them to get divorced, gymnastics and
do.
karate?
I want to be the bastard stepson.
You don't want to move in with mom or dad?
No, I just going out on my own. Sorry, at this point, I'm separating you two.
Okay.
No, so I feel like the one thing that was missed in that trailer was the guy should have been like, mixing karate with gymnastics and also adding the sound effects of the Three Stooges movies.
Yes.
I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
whoop, 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 whoop. It's just, come on.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
But there were definitely some laughable moments.
Okay.
So I had fun watching the movie.
All right.
So overall, I would give it like a C.
Okay. Well, we'll see if your opinions change as we go.
If
Joseph?
the grading scale was from A to C.
It was going to be a C.
Got it. What were your impressions, Joe?
If you guys do these movies again, call me back. I love this stuff. This ever since Megaforce, that heaping pile of garbage. I love doing these heaping pile of garbages because it.
I don't like.
I had my little cheat here.
Yeah.
And I'm writing stuff down. All the little weird quirks that they have. And I filled up half the page. And then I realized, man, I'm like half the page down. And I stopped the film, and it was only 15 minutes into it.
Yep, that sounds about right.
And I was like, oh, this is going to be a good one. I just hope I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
So this it had so much. It has absolutely so many great gems in this one.
Oh, yeah.
And I love
So you loved it.
gems in bad movies.
Wow, I'm so
But
okay.
it's a heaping pile of trash.
Right.
Anyways,
So much positivity. I love it. Here's what I'll say. I had never seen it. Did anyone see it before this?
No.
no.
Okay.
Hell no.
All right.
How about you?
So
No, I
who
never.
drafted it then?
So this was a replacement. So remember when we did the draft and we allowed the audience a veto? We said, send the messages in.
Yeah.
And this is how we got this. So Kung Pao Enter the Fist got vetoed, and this was replaced
with
by Gymkata. Yeah.
whoa.
I can't
So-
fathom
Wasn't that my pick?
No, it was Mel Vandy's pick.
This is going to be a substantially better episode than that would have been.
Yeah, I agree. So, and this was
I think that's why I enjoyed the movie as much as I did. I'm watching. I was like, you know what? This is going to be way more fun Monday morning
Yeah. I
because
agree.
it's so.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I agree.
Yeah.
And so the person that's actually spearheaded this was Mike Pinter, who was in here.
He's been
with us.
an avid part of this show.
How dare
So the same guy that got us Megaforce
Yeah.
brought in Gymkata, and he actually got to be on the show, which if you listen to last week's episode, Broken Arrow,
what
you
I need
heard
him to do is figure out how to juggle an open gas can and a couple of road flares would be pretty cool. I want to see that.
No, we don't want anything to happen to Mike. He's feeding us gold here. Feeding us gold. We
Absolute
love Mike.
gold.
We love Mike. Yeah, so my impressions of the movie were that it was clear that it was made by a professional. Like,
Sure.
it was shot by someone that knew what they were doing, right? It wasn't like the issue with the movie wasn't necessarily how, from an aesthetic standpoint, how it was constructed or how it was shot. The action was easy to follow. You could understand what was going on. Everything else, from script to sound design to acting performances to, character choices, all that stuff, hot garbage. But you at least could tell that the camera was operated by a professional.
He was trying.
Yes, he was trying.
He felt
So-
I bet you he was on set going, I am the only guy keeping this thing together.
That's what I'm saying. So I at least want to give it some compliment, and that's the best that I could come up with, because you're right. The sound design, especially, Kurt, as you said.
How did you guys watch
awful.
this?
I just watched it I watched this with my daughter and my wife last night.
Right, but what, you streamed it?
Yeah, I streamed
def?
it. Yeah, well, it wasn't available in HD.
I have to say, I watched this at my place off of Prime. I rented it in the morning, and I watched it there regular.
$2.99.
And it was quite not great looking.
No, well, there's
TV. I watched it at Kurt's place off the DVD because Kurt bought it.
Yes.
So that we could watch it.
I
and
own
it
it.
was the cleanest looking, some really pretty photography, or, the actual videography of it, like the sets. It was way higher definition than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah, it was actually.
It was
Kazakhstan
really clean.
is a beautiful country.
It's Parmesan.
Parmesan?
yeah, it's Parmesan.
Parmesan.
It's Parmesan was the name of the country.
Parmesan.
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 Yeah.
I don't understand.
All right, let's just jump in.
understand.
Let's just jump into this film. It started with
Check off one of the jokes I just had.
super intense opening credits, where they're just like, "Look at this bar," while we played
5 minutes.
like Jaws music. Almost, to me, is what it sounded like.
It gave me a genuine jump scare.
Did it?
Yeah.
With the horses.
Here I am just looking at this dude, on the parallel bars, and then horses. Like,
It was very abrupt.
yeah.
It was super jarring, and with no context at all.
No.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
You're just like, what am I looking at?
Why am I watching horses run through puddles? What is this?
And then back to a guy doing the uneven bars.
Doing some dismounts and
Right.
I thought we
Jumping
went back
around.
in time.
I thought we did too. And this scene, so he's doing gymnastics, I guess, in front of a crowd or something, sets up what becomes a running thing, I don't think intentionally throughout this movie,
Don't say running.
where they introduce a character and then we never see them again. Right? Like he jogs off and there's like this girl that kind of tries to chase
that
after him.
walks forward and they're like,
no, I'm sorry. And the way it lingers on her, it looks like, oh, must be a character in this
Yeah.
film. No, we
no.
never see her again.
No.
And there's all kinds of characters throughout this movie introduced in a scene, and then we just never see them again.
We're led to believe that he just gave a fantastic performance at a gymnastics meet and this and that and the other thing.
With
and
no
then when
lighting.
Yeah, it was zero lighting.
in the
It is
dark.
completely dark in there. But then he comes walking out, and there was only like 42 people there total. This
Right.
guy is the world champion gymnast
Oh, was
putting on
he?
a
Well,
performance.
but that's a
I don't know
classic
if he is or
filmmaking.
not.
That's a classic filmmaking thing. They stuff the frame at the edges of the bleachers to make it look like all of the bleachers are full, but you're only
it was a
seeing
hallway,
him
man.
come through these two bleachers.
yeah.
But it's clear that they were just like,
Yeah.
they had 50 extras and had to make it look like 50,000.
Right.
And that's what they
I
chose
think
to
those
do.
were the same extras that became the
The masked.
The crazies.
yeah, the,
or the crazies. Yeah.
the red band Ninja Clan.
So it's intercut between the gymnastics meet in the dark, and then we see this white guy leading a group of ninjas.
Yeah.
We don't, at this point, no context.
He's beautiful, by the way.
He's beautiful. He's just leading this group of ninjas chasing a gymnast through the wilderness.
You're talking about Captain Woollybeard?
Captain Woollybeard. And we learn later what's going on, but at this point we're like, okay, they're standing around holding these flags. The guy's trying to climb across a rope. They're shooting arrows at him. Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
right.
It's very confusing.
He gets
have
nailed
no
in the
idea yet.
spleen.
He does take one right to the spleen. And this
Takes one of the spleen.
this is one of the things about the movie I love. It has some of the best falling noises.
Oh, yeah.
They don't use the Wilhelm scream at all, not once, but they just like there's 100 different falling
My
noises.
favorite was the one, and I know we're going jumping ahead,
That's
but
fine.
there's just one where he falls off the cliff, and it like what happens because
Yes.
you've seen the rope cross
Yes.
19 times in the movie.
Yes.
And yet the one guy falls and you just hear, oh. You know there's a bottom. Like, how did
It just trails off into
right.
like nothingness.
I think the Falcon from Beastmaster came in and
right.
grabbed him and took him away.
Something took him away.
He was caught by a plot net.
But like legitimately, you can tell when they shot those falling scenes down into the rocks near the river.
Yeah.
That was real people they dropped.
No,
There's
it
no
was-
way that was faked at all.
No, that was totally real people.
It was literally a sack of potatoes with a costume put on it. Especially the blue guy with the prisoner who had like a blue or black
No,
jumpsuit
that was
on.
real. That dude was real. He
And it
died.
just was like,
I like that in the beginning. There's just some flag guy down there.
yeah.
Like, where did he go?
But nobody understands what the flag.
I think they had said, like, how are we going to?
We're getting ahead
at
of
one
ourselves.
point, we're getting ahead, but at one point, how are we going to know which way to go from here to there? You know, it's easy to see here on this table, but out there, how are we going to tell? There will be guards to show you the way. I think they're just marking the course boundaries. That's it.
Fair enough.
That guy at the bottom then must have been marking it for that guy.
He's marking it down here. This is out of bounds.
You got to fall between here and there.
You're disqualified, sir.
I'm sir. Sir, you're out.
Excuse me, sack of potatoes. You
Look at me when I'm talking to you. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Poking him with the flag stick.
This enters into one of my second favorite part in the entire movie.
Are you talking about Johnny Parallel Bars?
Well, after that, we get, and because I complained about this. There's so many movies. Okay, how long it takes for them to get through the exposition, the backstory. They went, talk about fast forward. They went through the entire backstory, the whole training montage, and he gets the girl all in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
What
Movie's done.
backstory?
Exactly.
He was
all of it.
Just the stuff about like what he's supposed to do, about the game, all that stuff.
He gets off the parallel bars.
Yes.
Goes in this room.
Yeah.
Starts talking to a guy. They're saying stuff. I don't even know who this guy is, what he does,
That's what I'm saying. They're just going to rip right through it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here's this guy sitting there with an eagle on his shoulder.
An eagle.
That's what
Why
I'm
did
saying.
they have the eagle? Was it just like some guy was like, dude, I can get an eagle? Really? Yeah, I can get an eagle. I don't know where we're going to put it. We'll just put it in a movie.
Put it in the shot.
Because it's one of those movies
Maybe
we
it was
need
his
an
own
eagle.
personal eagle.
Oh, are you talking about like the sensei with all the like...
With the eagle on his shoulder.
Yeah, the great lines of like air
But this is what
and
I'm
wood
saying.
And splits
Just
sound
Listen to the
and
sound
wood.
of the axe.
This is
cutting
what
the
I mean
air.
when I say they introduce a character like the eagle and then we never see it again, just like the girl.
Slice
okay.
and chip.
And just like the people that teach him Gymkata. We just never see them ever again.
No.
Nothing that they taught him.
Yeah, why didn't they come in
applied
and
to
like
the
help
games,
save
by
the
the
day?
way.
What's that?
Nothing that they taught him applied to the games.
No, especially not the handstands up the stairs. He never utilized.
He never did that.
Usually in movies they set it up and pay it off, right?
He should have had like
No.
a tragic leg incident and then a set of stairs that he had to climb where he was going to die.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What about the blindfolded sensei with the...
Okay, that
choppy blade?
killed me. I was laughing so hard when he's spinning the bladed nunchucks and he's not. It's first of all clearly sped up, and then second, he's not even really doing anything. He's just going each side of his head. It was like.
I love that he unblindfolds himself. He's like, he goes,
He's all proud of himself.
Because you need a blindfold
what I
to do
just
any
did.
of what
all
he
right,
did the
Johnny,
same-
parallel bars, your turn.
He did the same two moves that an 8-year-old would do if he got a pair of nunchucks.
Absolutely.
Right,
Here,
but you would
side,
expect,
side, up, side,
but
side,
you would
side.
expect to hit yourself in the head on try 5, and he didn't.
No,
That's where
because he
it's
was going
impressive.
slow and they sped up the footage. That's what was so funny to me about it. It's just not. This guy's in no way a master.
I also enjoyed the line when he's like, well, why not send in the troops?
Yeah.
And he's like, military action is out of style. I'm sorry, what? What
Okay.
is out of style?
That's another great point.
This movie's out of style. This movie's out of focus.
So the thing that they're talking about is a real thing, right? Back in the Cold War, they were trying to find other countries that would let them put up satellite stations.
Star Wars satellite station.
And they called it that actually,
Absolutely.
and it was to see. So they could see if Russia could see if the United States launched nuclear weapons before they got there, like for an advance notice.
Yep.
Right.
And so they'd have to do it. If they just had the satellite stations in America, it'd be too late. It'd be there already, right? So that was a real thing. What I thought was hilarious is like the U.S. desperately needs this to protect the country from nuclear attack, and this is your guy
Gymnast.
that you're going to send in?
Yep.
If you could only send in one guy, you're not picking like one of your SEALs or,
They have
or
already sent his
Green
father.
Berets.
How do we know he's not a SEAL or a Green Beret?
well, the
Backstory on this guy.
trailer guy said he was great at penetrating mountains. That's probably why they sent him in there.
This
Guy.
we can't send in the army. What about that gymnast I saw on Channel 5?
Yeah. Have you seen him hit on women before? It's
Have you seen
magical.
him dismount? Good God, man.
Have you seen him on the parallel bars?
Dude.
No,
like
I couldn't.
I
It
envision
was
the
too
entire
shadowy.
Pentagon got together at one of those big giant tables, and they just watched Kurt Thomas.
They had Kurt Thomas there in the middle of the room
and
on a pommel horse.
They go,
Yes.
this is the man that we need to get.
We're going to airdrop this pommel horse into the middle of this.
Oh, no, don't ruin that joke yet. Don't ruin that joke yet. Don't ruin that joke yet. We're going to cut that out. Nah, I'm off.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, so they're. I imagine they're watching Kurt Thomas in the front of this big, giant joint session of the Joint Chief of Staff and all of the military heads, and and he dismounts off the balance beam, and they go, "Get him on the phone right now." This guy is going to save the country.
Do you see that dismount? It was clean. It was crisp. We need a man like that, a man of action.
That's right.
Sir, he's only 4'5". I don't care.
Strap him on a bear.
What do you guys think of?
Okay, sorry.
What do you guys think of his training attire? Did you guys remember what he was wearing while he was doing this training? I mean, they got a real close-up shot when he was
His like red shorty shorts.
walking up the.
To have the aerial shot. I mean, the most suspenseful thing about that whole scene was
There was no floppage. There was no floppage.
That was suspenseful, right? For the wrong reason.
You just wanted to be able to divert your eyes like immediately. Like, okay, I didn't actually see it.
It's like the director said, just get it right up to the camera and then turn and go back.
And
to
then
the other
show
one.
us.
But he's wearing a polo shirt tucked into shorty shorts.
Yeah. Red, like bike shorts.
this is not the only
Old 1980s bike shorts.
This is not the only questionable attire that there's going to be. In this movie.
Gosh, no, you're right. All through the entire film,
well,
we're
then
going
you
to be
got
able.
Princess Bondage Judo Chop coming in.
She doesn't talk. There's another thing. They set up this plot line about how she never talks, but she talks about 10 minutes later.
I knew English the whole time. My bad.
They just rip through this. In some parts, they're just totally in fast forward.
What did you call her again?
Princess Bondage Judo Chop.
Yeah, it's pretty.
She does that thing.
Write that down.
That was actually on the credits.
Yeah,
That's what her name was.
She does that whole rope thing to him, and then like, hey, cha, like right in his throat, like.
Tetchi Agbayani was doing some work in this movie, and
Oh my gosh.
and what did this Casanova do to get the girl? If any of you are taking notes on how to at home and how to pick up a girlfriend, apparently this works really well.
Backflip.
Yeah,
Talk to yourself.
Yeah.
just do some flipping.
Yeah, some flippy flips.
Just flip it up.
And
She was
mock
starting.
her.
She
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
get over here and kiss me right now."
Yeah.
Which he
and
did.
I don't ask me
Extremely
though.
awkwardly,
Just
by the way.
come over and make out with me.
Oh, it was one of the worst kisses
Oh.
in movie history.
Well, she pulled a knife on him. That's how
Well,
good
it's
it was.
because they were the same height.
But even after that, it's 'cause they were the same. He was the same height as a small Asian woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were like level. And she had to wear flats, which was weird.
Oh my gosh.
And he was wearing the stilettos.
The romance of this movie definitely paralleled the romance of Megaforce.
Okay.
It was just that. It's just that 1980s.
Ciabatta
We don't
bread.
like each other.
Ciabatta bread.
We don't like each other. We're effing right now. It's like from that to that.
Right.
Like that's.
Well, I mean, it's just they went through the entire romance of the film in 10 minutes. You went from "I don't speak to you." 10 minutes later, she's getting she's getting the back massage, and they're getting it on.
no wonder
And I'm
I
like-
had such a hard time. in
One of my
youth.
other favorite lines that I laughed really hard at was when the guy, the colonel or whoever, the guy that's like, explaining everything of what's going to happen when he goes to the game.
Yeah.
And he does interesting background. Her mom was Indonesian.
Yeah, that was the
That's
entire
it.
background.
And then, wow, that was interesting. Thank you, sir.
People are from Indonesia.
Apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. So you cut through all the nonsense. The thing to take from this incredibly sped up, like the training montage is usually like in the second third of the movie. They go through the whole thing here with two people that are clear masters.
Right.
The important thing to pull out of all this nonsense in the first 15 minutes is that there is this country called Parmesan
Parmesan.
with the worst immigration policy in the history of foreign policy.
It works to keep the population numbers down.
Okay. Because what I gathered was
import export of that country is the worst.
it's got to be.
Well, you can
a
tell
lot of
because they
salt.
still live in the 1600s there.
There's a lot of salt
What
there.
what I gathered, anyone that goes there has to compete in the game to enter the country.
Right.
That's what the guy said.
Imagine being the Amazon driver.
Right? It's like, look, man, there's an Amazon driver just running in the game. They just throwing a guy in a Prime outfit in there.
Gets shot with a limp arrow.
That's how you work at Amazon.
That's right.
You have to go through that obstacle course and beat Woolly Bearded Man,
Oh my gosh.
Captain Woolly Beard.
So, basically what happened is they find out, okay, they got to go to Parmesan because they've got the satellite station at this place, and we're sending in Kurt Thomas, and he's going to compete in the game. And the other countries are also training their best gymnasts, I guess, instead of soldiers.
Best warriors.
Instead of taking a soldier and training him to do gymnastics, whatever. And they're also trying to get there to get the satellite station, and they're all going to compete in this game together. That's essentially the plot. Okay. I know. It's riveting.
You got it?
Everybody got that?
Everybody got that?
Yeah. And so they go to this foreign country. And at first I'm like, I thought they were going straight to Parmesan. Okay. Right. and I'm like, all these people are getting off the boat. I'm like, all these people are going to have to compete in the game. They all got off the boat.
Yeah.
This old white guy is going to have to do it. But because it's not explaining clearly what's happening, this is a staging area
Nearby.
Parmesan. Okay. So they go to this foreign country, and here again, we meet a bunch of contacts and guys that we're going to spend the next 15 minutes with and then never see again.
Yep.
None of these people.
Cool, like gadgets that is never used.
The knife gun.
The knife gun.
The knife gun.
Dude, I was so happy when I saw it. How many times have we talked about
A lot.
a knife gun?
Yeah.
And I was
I don't think this is actually a knife gun.
it's got the thing. They got the knife gun. I turned it into Jerry Seinfeld.
You did.
What are you doing?
I think in order to have a knife gun, we got to have a traditional gun setup.
Yes.
With the
As opposed to a switchblade that just didn't connect underneath and it just shoots out.
Shoots the blade out.
the little tabs worn off.
And then he walks over there and he's like, and pulls it out.
But you're right. This is
by the way.
the
You
biggest
got to reload
sin.
it. It's only got one.
This is the biggest sin of the movie, Joe, which you brought up, is that they just never pay anything off. This is another example of setup. Here's all these cool gadgets. Like, at least in a James Bond movie, at some point he's going to use
the
these
gadgets
things to save himself.
Yeah.
But that never happens here.
They might have been planning to do all of that because, as you see, and we will talk about at the end, it wraps up in 37 seconds. Full action.
It pulls a
done.
Game of Thrones.
They go back into the 15-minute mode here and just go hit the gas. You're right. They could have. They
might have had more plans, but they ran out of their budget.
Yeah, that's true.
Or their visas at Parmesan expired. They were going to have to run the game if they stayed any longer.
It's actually their Yugoslavian passports, because this is actually where they filmed this, was on location in Yugoslavia. Yeah.
And you definitely don't want expired
Because
Parmesan
in case you couldn't tell, they were somewhere in Asia, and there wasn't one Asian person, maybe two. There was the princess, and there was Gomez.
Yeah.
His name is Gomez, and everybody else is white. Even when they finally cut in close on some of the ninjas, like you could see, it's a white dude in there.
Well, even that guy that asks him, it's like, are you American? And he's like, yes. And I want to go, so are you.
Oh, yeah.
And he splashes the water or whatever.
Death to America guy, right?
Yeah.
Go home, Yankee.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's from South Jersey.
And then that blows my mind too, right? So like they do that whole big fight scene, right?
Oh,
and he goes chases the two like bad agents or whatever through the town
when they're in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come back to the market and all there is just some guy sitting there with a drippy blood hand and an axe, and everybody's gone.
Yeah.
Everyone
disappeared.
And,
because
he's this
the most startling part of that
town.
is they're just sitting there talking, and the dude just catches an arrow to his spleen out of nowhere.
Oh.
early on. The arrow to the father.
Yes.
I had wrote down, I go, random arrow? I'm like, is this going to happen again? I'm just waiting for somebody to get a random arrow.
Yes.
And Ray's that guy's like, and he gets a random arrow. I was like, yes! That's a random arrow. I knew it was going to happen. I
actually think
haven't called that.
I think it works really well. I think a lot of movies would be more funny if people just caught random arrows coming into the frame. Because it actually was
you could build some people into some absolutely ridiculous situations, and that's your out.
That's what I'm saying. Because it was funny every time. It was funny.
Time. Every time.
Single time. Say what you want about this movie, but the arrow deaths and the gun deaths, like when they would come in and just blow somebody away, were awesome.
Absolutely.
And so over
There is
the top.
one really good gun death, though. I do have to say, by far, I had to write it down because it was actually really, really good. The Stork guy? Is it his name? Stork or Crane? Or
Yeah. The guy with the handlebar mustache. The guy
Is that the guy that double crosses them?
Yes, the double crosser.
That's what I wrote down. Awesome gun deaths.
Yeah, because they must have had him on some kind of ropes.
I know.
He was an elderly man, and they just yanked him
Through the doors and the windows.
You see his back break in half.
Yeah.
They folded him in 2 pieces.
Well, before we get to that, I don't want to skip over. This is his first Gymkata fight when he runs out of the marketplace.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the dude caught the random arrow and he chases the guys down. I'm like, all right, here we go, Kurt Thomas. What do you got? What did you think of Kurt Thomas's fighting style? Gymnastics mixed with karate.
It just looked like fighting.
It didn't, though. Have you ever seen fighting like that in a martial arts movie?
Not in martial arts, just in real
He would
life.
just stop and do a perfect pirouette half gainer in the middle of a fight. You've seen that in a movie before?
No, that's what real fights look like.
He'd do those little hippie flips.
He'd just stop. He'd back up. He'd line himself up and he'd do a backflip.
Yeah, he did the backflip and missed everybody, but they fell over.
But they all
anyway.
just fall over.
I thought it was great.
It was the best.
That's when the Stooges sounds started kind of coming into play.
He'd land on them, and some of these punch sound effects sounded like a brick hitting plywood.
Yeah, he must have had some crazy hand speed right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, Indiana Jones has a slightly exaggerated punch sound effect, which sounds like 2 pieces of wood smacking together. But they've established that over the course of many movies. This is even well beyond that. Every time he punched somebody, it sounded like, it
was like the wrong effect for that sound.
Yeah. And it was so loud.
Absolutely.
And so overdone.
Well, and then that's when he does the double kick and he kicks the 2 guys at the same time. Yeah.
And
the poster shot there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly what that is. Yeah.
Poster shot.
But every time in every fight he had in the movie where he would just do a very majestic and perfect backflip, kind of graze somebody and they would fall over. Was just like a backflip is not an attack.
Can I also ask, did they have a bad guy sale with like everyone that had a mustache at that time?
In that scene,
like every single bad guy in this movie had at least some sort of like mustache or facial hair.
Oh yeah,
Tom Selleck was huge in the 80s.
Is that like a
mustaches were everywhere?
Is that a trope?
My dad had a mustache.
Do you have to have a bad mustache to be a bad guy?
My dad had a mustache back then. Everybody
in the 80s. They went into the casting department. They had casting the extras, and they had all the henchmen, right? And they're walking the hall. Okay, thank you everybody for coming. If you don't have a mustache, get out of here right now.
And 3 people left.
We're gonna make you except you. You need to take an arrow to the chest. We like you.
We'll kill this one
For real.
Everyone else out of here. Yeah. So I guess now is as good a time as any to just give you a little bit of backstory on Kurt Thomas himself. Now that we've seen him in his gymnastics, Kurt Thomas was an actual professional gymnast. He competed in the World Championships right around 1980. And actually was the only person to do this since was Simone Biles, who did it recently, but won like 6 gold medals in a world championship and was supposed to compete in the Olympics that year.
So are they doing a sequel? Is that what you're telling me right now?
No, gosh, with
They're
Simone
going to have
Biles.
Simone Biles? Gymkata 2.
It's not Gymkata 2. It's Gymkata just redone.
That's right. The reboot. Yeah. But he was not able to compete in the 1980 Olympic Games because that was the year it was in Russia and the Americans boycotted the Olympics. So we didn't compete at all that year.
So that's why we put him in a movie.
He would have been his chance. And so then something happened in the next one after that. And he kind of missed his window, but he was, a popular gymnast at the time. So everybody that was watching this then would have known who Kurt Thomas was. It would have been like if Mary Lou Retton in the 80s had done a movie.
Sure.
Well, she did. She was in Scrooged. She was Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
But I think his gymnastics were on point. I can't fault the guy. Everything looked beautiful in the movie. It just is not a fighting style.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Not even a little bit.
They could have done a better job of blending the two together, I suppose.
Oh yeah, in ways that aren't hilarious.
I do love that the bad guys would wait as he would walk backward and just like
do a backflip.
Hang on, I got to do this move. All right.
Additionally, they continually surround him with 15 people and send them one at a time.
Yeah.
Maybe
Which is a
two.
huge movie trope all the time.
Attacking one at a time, that made Van Damme and Seagal's career.
Right.
That's, they don't do that anymore.
That guy beat up 47 people. No, he beat up one guy 47 times in the span of 4 minutes.
What followed this, so the weird thing is she's randomly kidnapped after he chases these people. He comes back and everyone's gone and she's been kidnapped and taken to, I don't know, some building randomly in the city. And he now has to go rescue her. And what followed this was one of the funniest damn parts of the movie. When he's in the alley and he jumps on the bar.
There's just a bar.
There's just a gymnastics bar in the alley, and he just starts spinning around, and people just keep running into his feet.
And then he
spins
got
around.
the bicycle guy.
And when the bike guy comes around the corner and just catches one to the grill, I fell off my couch laughing. I was laughing so.
He's just like, I'm so sorry, sir.
Okay.
And I love that he knocks out everybody but that guy.
Yes.
Somehow he pulled back for that last shot to the guy on the bike.
At the last moment.
Grazie.
Spoiler alert, that guy was Osama bin Laden. He started everything.
Because he got kicked in the face on accident.
Some random American.
He wasn't
kicked
even
him
in the
face.
movie.
That's why he
was
hates
just
America.
riding through that area.
He has nightmare. If they had done an Osama bin Laden movie and they kept showing flashbacks to the guy, like in black and white, of Kurt Thomas spinning around on this pole, kicking him in the face. He's just riding his bike to go get some falafel or something, and he just catches one. It's just the funniest thing. And then that's what started everything.
Oh, I just picture Osama bin Laden being like, and he's just envisioning the guy just flip kicking constantly.
Why do they keep just running into his feet? He come around the corner and they see this guy spinning.
You're asking the wrong question. Why was there a high bar there?
Oh, but that was the easy. That was the easy. You can explain that with some random piping. Some water pipe,
If it had looked like a water pipe.
Unless it's a hot pipe and your hand gets stuck to it.
Then why was it already chalked up?
Oh,
yeah.
You don't know what they were doing with it.
Why was it already chalked up?
His hands were chalky.
You're the plumber. Why would they? Would you ever have a pipe running from one side of the building to another?
I don't know.
Through the alley.
Not in Parmesan. I don't know how that is, but I mean, here in America, we don't do that.
Maybe it could have been a support, like holding two buildings up.
It's holding the buildings together.
Yeah,
that's what. If we held it here, they won't fall this way and this way. So dumb.
All these buildings are built with sticks. And
yep, because there's a
is this an erecta set? What's going on here?
It's right on the top of the mountain, and then there's one building on one side, one building on the other.
The building pole.
With flat floors.
John, get down there. Someone's spinning on the building pole.
Hurry up. Get that guy out of there. He's kicking people. Hurry up before he hits the guy with the bike. Oh, no. We missed it.
Oh.
Oh.
We need to pause. I need to catch it.
All right, so he gets into the building, and there's again another new character we'll never see again. Scarface, one eye guy.
Yeah,
right. Looks like
scary face.
This will be a guy we meet again in this movie.
Yeah, he steals the princess to get some sort of leeway or some sort of leverage against the King Comb-Over.
Yeah, but he's gone right after this. First of all, he hits a fire extinguisher with an axe.
Oh, Clint pointed that out to me right away. He's like, yeah, you don't chop a fire extinguisher. A
pressure vessel does not fail in that manner.
No.
If you were to burst a pressure vessel, it's not just going to
blow off his hands.
No, it's going to explode. They both would have lost their faces, I feel like. But
he's strong, though. He's got strong arms. He held that fire extinguisher together.
This is another great gun death. The guy that's holding the princess has an AK-47.
Of course he does.
And he shoots. I've never seen somebody get shot through a door, but is pulled to smash through the door inwardly.
They were smashing. They were fighting around backwards, and just as he spins the bad guy to the door, the bad guy's back is at the door.
Right.
And he gets shot through the door, and the guy comes flying through the door face first.
Instead of away, like he was blown away, he was like blown in.
Bungee bullets.
He was like bungee bullets.
But that also spun. Yeah, no.
It was
You
weird.
can't underestimate the powers of Johnny Parallel Bars.
Gymkata is crazy.
What's his last name? Does anyone know Johnny's last name?
Cabot.
in this
It's
movie?
Johnny Cabot.
Cabot?
Cabot.
So we got cabbage and Parmesan.
That's right.
Got
Cabbage
it.
and Parmesan.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good breakfast.
What followed? So okay, he gets the girl. He shoots the guy with a gun. He knows how to shoot an AK-47.
That seizes up.
Yep. And what come after this is a 15-minute alley chase.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Where they run through every alley in Yugoslavia.
Yeah, you've got a car. You got
Right.
two guys on foot.
Cars I can't identify, by the way.
No matter what corner they come around, someone's waiting with a
Yeah,
gun.
they do all that running. You think they're lost, and all of a sudden the guy's like, "Oh!" You know, like, where did you come from?
They also-
They runs up the stairs, and this other guy comes with his gun, running, and then instead of just going the extra 2 steps up the stairs, he kind of like flop crawls over the railing, and then like gets back up and starts going up the stairs again. It was pretty comical.
They also do this dumb thing where every time they run, they would run until they hit the wall. Like they would let the wall stop them.
Yep.
And then they would go left or
She
right.
would run into him.
And
every time.
They did that like 6 times.
Did you stop?
And then they would choose whether to go left or right. Why can't you just run and turn a corner?
You can't. You are.
You can only run in a
so
straight
fast.
line.
They didn't
Hit
get
the
to that
wall.
part of the
Wall.
training.
Ridiculous.
Gymkata training.
Yeah. Gymkata camp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't learn at Gymkata
The guy on
camp.
the horse. And the guy was running.
I wish there'd been a guy on a horse chasing them through the alleys.
Some of the
Would have
You
been
get
good.
that
Out
later
in the
on.
corners.
That does something.
That's true.
Yeah.
And thank God for cars that go the wrong way.
That's right.
You know, that scene would have never ended.
And the police.
Yes.
What a random police show up. Just
I know.
With a handgun.
yep.
And then
Have a really hard time
that
getting out of
guy
it.
Does that?
He's like trying to get it out. She's like, ah.
That's
What
right.
about when the guy gets shot? And he does that like, he like rolls with the gun and he can't even.
It's
He
ridiculous.
shoots through the door.
So glad there's a camera here to catch all this.
I know.
'Cause
Me
this
too.
was not.
This is why I went to a video podcast.
Yeah.
Because so much of this was just lost. All this gold. So as we know, they're double crossed. They get back to their contact. The contact, for inexplicable reasons, like I have a gun, and and then he gets blown away by the dude that helped.
Special Forces should have handled this all the time.
That's right. The guy that set up his training, the guy from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
The only time we meet a character and he comes back at some point.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's
and
now
saves the day.
gone forever.
Yeah.
And off they go now to Parmesan in a little blow up boat. Right there.
Oh, and the best part right there. You guys leave in the morning. Okay, great. What are we doing? Whitewater rafting right into enemy territory.
Right.
Do you guys mind?
No.
We got this.
Subtle.
We set up next year's adventure for the group, though, by the way.
Yes.
While we were talking about that.
Today we have the sounds of a raging whitewater river. That was the most gentle stream of sounds.
Why? Why didn't they find the?
them going down
Yes.
this turbulent, rushing river, and it sounded like my backyard creek.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't they get the punch sound effect guy to do the water
I
noises?
wanted to face punch the sound effect guy.
You went big and loud on everything else.
His shoes, his little clicky shoes running through
The
the
tap
alley.
dancing shoes.
And then this is where he fails.
He's got tap shoes.
And then this is kind of where we get introduced to like the Red Band Ninja Clan.
That's right. Well, he has a fight. He's wearing JCPenney jeans
Yes.
and like a sweatshirt where the sleeves rolled up, and he has a whole Gymkata fight with the band of ninjas.
Yeah.
When they get off this boat.
Rip off over here.
Well, and the guy comes running up with a knife, like, "Don't you pop my boat!" And he like judo chops him in the neck.
Right.
I thought he was going to stab him, but
He just stopped. He was late. Cabbage was late at the attack, so it's like the guy just stopped.
Jim Cabbage.
And
They know exactly where the boat is going to land.
Yeah.
Right. The ninjas are there immediately.
well, that's how everybody enters for the game.
Right. Up that same spot
Yeah,
of the river.
It's the same boat. Johnny Cabbage
But
just
here's the
Oh my
jam.
showing up on a
That's-
boat.
That's the Khan's daughter.
Okay, so
Anyone?
let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Who, the Khan?
This is where we meet the Khan,
You mean
who
it's
is
Mel Brooks
And Geraldo and a kid.
and the grandpa from Willy Wonka came together?
yes, this is supposed to be an Asian country somewhere, right?
Oh, you guys are talking about King Comb Over. That's what I started calling him. Yeah.
Mel Brooks.
And Mel Brooks and Geraldo Rivera.
That is not his daughter. I'm telling you, that is not his daughter.
Like.
No, I don't care. That is not that. That is not. That could be.
Hey,
like
her mom's from Indonesia.
It could be
Interesting backstory.
She'd have to be 110% Indonesian. And
she was adopted.
And
let's just go with that.
It has to be.
Call it a day.
Because this guy looked like a history teacher from Queens.
Hey,
not like
doing?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
He's like, I'm the con of the Parmesan.
I have an announcement
What?
tonight.
I can't believe this movie.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, come on.
Hey, get out of here. Forget about it.
I just got back from Charlie in the chocolate factory.
I drank the bubbles. That's how he thought of the game, because of what they put him through, what he was put through in the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. He's like, forever took it out. I'm making my own country, and whoever comes in here is going to do some crazy stuff.
That's where the glass elevator landed.
That's right. The Wonkavator crashed in Parmesan.
Obviously, the original Willy Wonka.
That's right.
not
What
the-
are we
not the
calling
Johnny
this
Depp
place?
version.
Parmesan?
Parmesan.
Hey, welcome to Parmesan. How you doing? We got boats. We got horses.
At this point, there's like
got
Asian
ugly
imagery. There's like Asian imagery. There's architecture. There's ninjas, but there's also like old school European Yugoslavian stuff, because that's where they shot it. There's a white guy. I'm like, at
There's
this point,
corn. There's pine trees.
right. I'm like,
Yeah.
where is this country?
Yeah.
What is this country? It's insane.
Oh.
But
That was
you know,
good.
they basically meet the con, and
Yeah. So he gets hit over the head,
yeah.
and then he wakes up to the gentle stroking
Oh, yes.
of an ugly woman. Now,
Toothless.
And tongueless.
tongueless. Okay. That's not.
I wish I was a microphone right now. That looks so fun.
So not only was that moment hilarious.
I'm sorry, folks. Kurt has just left the building.
Kurt died. We will be continuing this without Kurt for the next.
Then he's sitting there. He has a conversation with Raphael.
Yeah.
And
Raphael.
And Raphael explains the situation like you just talked about, and
Yes.
he leaves.
Yes.
And the woman's like, and he's like, all right, fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, no one's
Get
looking.
after it. Nobody sees. They shut the camera off.
Oh my gosh.
You're talking about Captain Woollybeard?
That's right.
It's Raphael and his band of his band
Zamir.
Of
Oh,
rip-off
Zamir.
Zamir. Yeah.
Zamir.
I think Zamir's character would have been amazing if it was played by Ace Hunter. Not
So what are
Barry
you?
Bostwick, Ace Hunter.
Am I the only one that thought that the actor kind of looked like the guy that played Sheriff of Rottingham in Men in Tights?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like he kind of in the face.
I kind of think he looked like
Yeah.
Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees.
I looked him up to see if it was the same guy.
Oh,
But I found out this is the guy Richard Norton that plays Zamir. He was like one of the main Immortans in Fury Road. He's like the
wow.
dude that had
Really?
like shirtless and he had just the top half of his head painted black and was like one of the main dudes. That's
awesome.
Zamir from Gymkata. Yeah.
Oh, I just got a whole bunch more respect for the man. now.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm not
pretty
gonna
cool.
lie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Fury Road a lot.
He also was the stunt coordinator for this movie and has done a lot of that since as well, as he still dabbles in acting and whatnot. But
Okay. All right.
yeah,
All right.
that guy's awesome. Well, we learn, at this point they announce the game and they kind of give him the dry run. They're like, well, let's just let these prisoners run through just so you get a feel for it and know what to do. So they make these prisoners run the game.
Right.
And from what I gathered from the rules, because it's hard to understand, once they're pursuing, they can kill you in between challenges.
Right.
It's fair game. Or if they're on the same challenge as you, like if you wanted to try and climb the rope, because the guy got in trouble for breaking the rules, but had he been climbing the ropes and killed the guy, then it would have been okay.
Right.
Right?
Joe has a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry to point this out again.
No.
But I wrote this down, and we can't forget this
What's
because
that?
it was horrible. When that game started,
Yeah.
You know what was really tragic?
The guy getting hit with the horse.
Yeah, the people getting trampled by the horse. And
I missed it. They got trampled by the horse?
One guy that
trampled
fell.
by
One of the old
horse.
guys got trampled by Zamir's horse, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Zamir did not
hard.
look comfortable riding that horse in any shot he was on.
That
He
horse
looked
was
like he was
riding
falling
him.
over forward.
I say nay.
Jeez. I can't believe I missed that. All right.
yeah.
I'll have to go
Yeah,
back and
there's a
look.
guy
They
that
left it
falls,
in.
and then they kind of cut like right after. Yeah.
Two of them get
Okay. Yeah, that is unfortunate. But no, that's good. I'll have to go back and look.
It's like, that's
So rest in peace, that guy that got killed on this movie.
Other than the plot.
But that's essentially how the game works. They've got to get through. First they got to make it to the rope climb, 200 feet, and they got to climb the rope. Then from there they got to go to the rope that goes across the canyon and shimmy across that.
Right.
Then they've got to make it through a town of cannibals. Crazy peoples, and then from there,
Go ahead.
and then from there, they have to get back to the castle.
This town full
right.
of cannibals, by the way,
Yeah,
has many goats and tasty pigs in it. Why would we eat?
I don't know.
I don't think it was a town full of cannibals. Actually, it was just a mentally disabled bunch
Yeah.
of people.
But they had said that they were cannibals. At
It's
one
like, here,
point,
go into this town and
Right.
just
Right.
punch
Maybe
women.
just some.
Well,
of them
we'll get there. We'll get there because we got to get through the first part of this game first. And before the game even starts, they have this big feast where they at this point they had mentioned him a couple times. They talked up this guy Torg or Korg.
Are you talking
Thorg.
about the Thor?
Thorg with a G. Thor
Yeah.
with a G.
Yeah, it was like Thor, but with
Shows up and he says to him, "I loved you
Since
in
Berlin,
Munich."
or since
Yeah,
Munich,
Munich.
yeah.
So we're to believe this dope was a gymnast himself,
or something,
or
some
something
competition.
Olympic.
he looked like a shot putter.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, we're not suggesting this guy was a gymnast because there's no way he was a gymnast.
No, but he
Thorg.
competed some way.
The ripoff Thor.
Yeah, Thorg. They also announced at this
Thor.
feast
Just put a G
that
in
the
it.
princess is going to be married to Zamir
Right.
because of course they got to throw that plot. That's such a movie trope. You know, princess will be forced to marry the bad guy against her will. Been in like countless movies.
Yep.
Got to throw that in for good measure.
And then we get the awesome why Joe named him Raphael moments later. He pulls out his size and does his display.
That's
to
right.
The pleasure of the entire
I
crowd.
was like to the pleasure of no one.
Right.
Everybody's
even
like,
Johnny
oh,
Boy
here's
was entertaining.
Zamir's got his size out again.
Just applaud.
Put your
Just
hardware
applaud.
back in your pants.
But we're here. We finally made it. We're at the game. Okay, this is
Okay.
the moment that the whole movie's been building towards. Right?
I'm excited.
They fast forwarded through so much stuff just to get here, and it still took forever to get to the actual game. And the first thing I notice when they all show up for the game is Thorg's attire.
Yes.
This dude was wearing like a cable knit sweater vest,
Yep.
skinny
On top
jeans,
of-
and like boots. My wife was like, he looks like a woman. Mm-hmm. What was that outfit?
Like these silver gauntlet things.
Right.
And this headband with the triangle or
Yeah, it was weird. And everybody's attire for the
Oh
game.
yeah, it was like 80s jogging suits.
Yeah.
I mean, then you had the guy that was like Bruce Lee, but he was like the Wish version.
I think
Oh, yeah.
J.C. Penney sponsored, or no, it was this the old Sears catalogs sponsored that wardrobe.
Hey, you guys need some wardrobe? We got some extra pieces in the back.
They start the game, and these guys are cheating hard. Like they start pursuing like immediately.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, even the con even says, "What are you doing? This
Yeah.
is not against the rule." You know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, we kind of skipped over too, even with watching the examples, right?
Yeah.
They were showing you like, okay, this is, obviously the examples of where
Yeah.
the games are at. And those guys get a bunch of arrows
Right.
yeah.
to, to
Well,
them. And
that guy
They
got
cheat
shot
hard.
because he didn't follow the rules. Well, in the next scene, it's like, well, now that he's on the same,
yeah. And then they're on the rope cross.
now that the Warrior's on the same challenge, he can shoot him. So
And then
Okay, whatever. They're just making up the rules.
Johnny
as they go
Cabbage is
along.
like, hey, wait a second. This is where my dad died.
Wait, at this point, we don't. They keep talking about his dad,
Yeah.
and I didn't put it two and two together
didn't
that it was
either.
the same guy from the
Well,
earlier
I think that's kind of what they
until
wanted,
later.
yeah.
It's just so stupid. But yeah, so they go up to the first rope, the rope thing,
Right.
and they light his rope on fire, but they waited way too long. Like, why don't they just shoot arrows into him like the other guy?
Yeah.
that rope burnt suspiciously fast.
It did super fast because it was probably accelerated with something, would be my guess.
Potentially.
And
Most likely.
And then they cheat again and try and get him, and they chop the rope when he's,
They
shimmying
waited
across
way too long again for
the
that.
canyon.
because
Right.
now
He
he's
first
only
had to
3
shake
feet
it a
from
little
the
bit.
end.
Wait till he gets to a point where he can't die, and then we're going to cut the thing.
Yeah, I loved. I mean, all of that. Zamir was so funny when he was like, "Quick, hand me the torch," and it's like, "I got arrows right here,
I know,
sir.
dude.
And you want me to?
I can shoot him right now.
No,
The guy
hand
has
me the
torch.
torch."
Yeah. But then the guy's got the torch, and he walks over to the side of the mountain where inexplicably
random
there's
fire.
a fire.
Yep.
And lights the torch off the fire that's just sitting there.
Isn't it
And
good
then-
that there's a fire there?
And then, like you said, when he's like not even 5 feet away,
Right.
it's like, no, cut the rope now.
Yeah.
I-
I thought he was going to chuck the sword at him. I just was like, "You just going to chuck this at him?"
That's right.
Oh,
He does
cut the
later.
rope. Oh,
He actually does that later.
He does do that later. There were 2 questions that my wife and daughter had while we were watching this.
only 2.
Just specifically this game. They didn't. They most of the time when I watch the movies for this podcast, they're like, "No, thank you." But for some reason, I was able to get both of them to watch this one, and I'm shouting things out as I'm watching it about how stupid this is and
Sure.
that is. My wife goes, "I just want to know why his white pants are still so clean." Like after 2 of the challenges.
It's a fair question.
It's a fair question.
Fair question.
And then Grace, I was like, "Grace, what do you think?" She goes, "Well, this is more of an observation than a question." She goes, "Do you see this guy's mullet?" And she's talking about Cabbage, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a tiny mullet. Like he didn't really want to fully commit to the mullet. and really, what does that say about him? It's like, well, that's a really deep introspection into this character.
That is, I would have never. That would have never crossed my mind.
That's right.
I think it was the bigger the mullet, the worse you were, the more of a bad guy you were.
Yeah.
So there's this like a point of like good guy mullet, like betrayal mullet,
Okay.
and then full on bad guy mullet with braid.
Fair enough.
I think that's where it came down to.
Fair enough.
It was a subtle thing that the
They paid attention to in this
Yeah,
movie
right,
to
yeah,
make sure that you would know.
costume director.
I also enjoyed the fact that when Zamir cuts the rope, right? And then he's like, "Damn it! He made it across!" Now, in my mind, I went, "Well, how are the horses getting across?
Well, they went around.
Is there a bridge somewhere?
There's gotta be.
Or was he like, damn it!" And 3 feet over, there's
Yes.
a bridge that nobody
The
saw.
camera pans out and it's just this like
The
hole
rope
dug in the ground.
The rope is only 6 feet long because they never show the end of it.
Right.
They just show the beginning and then they just show the end.
Yeah.
What if the rope across the gorge is only 6 feet?
Yeah. Or what if it was really a peninsula, like it came,
Yes.
and all they had to do was run around and back to the other side?
Possible.
Because they were right there when they were chasing him. So where did they go?
Yeah.
Horsepower, man.
Horsepower. Hey. I don't know what was more exciting, the rope challenges or Richardson's corn maze.
I was like, why is there corn?
It's just corn.
And then
just
there's
hiding in
all
it.
these paths in there.
Shout out
Yes.
to
And he's
Richardson
like,
corn
let me just
maze.
run through this path.
That's right.
Hey, you don't want to see the corn moving.
No.
Of course, that'll give up my location.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, in between challenges, Thorg is just randomly killing contestants.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, just choking out
Just
Bruce
choking
Lee.
out Bruce Lee, and then he tries to kill. And then they have this fight, him and Cabbage, and
You almost said his name right. How dare you?
I almost did. They have this big fight, and he takes an arrow to the heart.
Yep.
And he's dead.
Yeah.
And
Or
we find out that might not be the case.
Trope.
But the bad guy's hanging there by it, and then he comes back. Yeah, right.
Yep.
Oh, like the Die Hard guy. He's hanging by his neck in Die Hard, and then all of a sudden he's back trying to shoot the dad from Family Matters.
thank you.
No problem.
Cara Winslow.
That's
I know
right.
who
That's
that
right.
is.
Okay.
Is that a spinoff?
No, I hope not. But
That would be great.
but so at this point, this is what I've been waiting to get to.
Did I do that?
He finally gets to Crazy Town.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and this
I love Crazy Town.
only 2 of them seemingly made it. Gomez was ahead of him.
Yes.
And Cabbage, and we find out later that Thorg took an arrow to the heart and survived, and he also makes it. So 3 of them essentially make it to Crazy Town. I don't even know where to start with this place, with this freaking movie.
Noises,
That was-
the sound effects.
This is the craziest part of the whole film.
I think we should start calling it Funky Town. Nobody wants, because Funky Town sucks.
That's right.
We all
Nobody
know
wants
that.
to go there. You're right. Let's start with the noises.
Yeah.
He's just like running through the streets.
Here. I thought I was.
What about Crow Lady? Crow Lady was my favorite.
Lady.
She's just sticking out her head out the window.
Crow Lady was your favorite?
Well, first, before we even get to Crow Lady, there's the hold on. Before we even get to Crow Lady, there's the dude that chases him with what's that, a sickle or a knife or something.
That's a sickle.
And they have like this, well, you can call it a fight. He's just dodging. I'm like, punch him. You're like, you know, Gymkata, and you're just dodging. And then you said a little bit ago, which made sense, but I'm like, why couldn't he unstick his hand from the pipe?
Yeah, why
he
was
grabbed this pipe?
Why is it so hot?
And then why is it so hot, right? Which is a whole other question.
For a plumber.
Then he just chopped his arm off to get off of it.
You hear the like sizzle.
Was it a steam pipe?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Outside?
I mean,
Because you do that?
When he walks up, that is probably one of the smokiest or smoggiest like
Yes.
cities I've ever seen. So that's probably a
thought they
hot
were
pipe
shooting it
just
in San
releasing
Francisco.
steam somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's what that pipe's for. It's releasing the steam into the city.
Just random steam.
Yeah.
So I
We
found
need
out,
more steam.
We need more
and I'm going to ask you guys a question here in a second. But before I do that, I found out that in an interview with Kurt Thomas, the guy who played Cabbage, that they used actual crazy people from an insane asylum in Yugoslavia for the scene.
That seems.
That all of the people that he kicks were stunt people, but all of the people that are just randomly being
Running
weird,
around.
running around, were actual insane people that they like
On their
used
day off?
I don't know if it's their day off or they just
Day off.
they just let them use them. They said they set up this big buffet for them, and they were happy because they had all this food.
What
and
about
they just
the ladies
used really
that
crazy
like
people?
the goth ladies that like
That-
attack him
they
and
could
then
take
he
a punch.
punches them?
They could take a
well,
punch.
anybody that was punched, he said, was a stunt person.
Oh, all right.
But all the other people, who was your favorite
keep
crazy
track?
person? In,
Mine?
Partially robed dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say follow the assless cloak man. Like that was
That's where the fun is. Go that way.
this dude is just like this
Come
way.
to
I'm
me.
like, oh, I thought this was really going to be like
dressed
That's his way
normal.
out.
the guy. That's how he gets out, right? But no, he's
No.
just
It was.
ass monk.
Yeah.
Is like like what I called him. It's like, I was like, what's up with ass monk?
Two-faced dude was pretty cool
He
too.
just
Edward
turns
Mordick.
around. Two-faced guy.
That was Edward Mordick.
Who was ass monk?
Yeah, no, the two-faced guy, Edward Mordick.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever heard of?
No, I don't know who that
the
is.
Legend of Edward Mordick.
No, who's
Okay,
Edward
this is
Mordick?
actually legit. I'm being PC serious. I won't explain that. There was a gentleman who had a face. You know, it was a birth defect. Had a face on the back of his head.
That looked like Burger King.
Look it up. That
That was the Burger King.
That was not makeup.
No,
no, that was makeup.
I was gonna say,
there was another.
But it's based on a true story.
based
of
on a
guy.
true person.
So double face guy was based on a true guy. That wasn't him in the movie.
No.
I was gonna say that
It was
that was
not him in the movie.
ridiculous.
He was dead by then.
Two-Face guy. I think Two-Face guy and Ass Monk were working together.
Yes, absolutely.
Because Ass
That
Monk
was their
distracts him, like come this way, and as soon as he's like, turns
like, oh,
around
he's got
to be
no
like,
pants
"Oh,
on."
you're coming? Check this out," and he turns around. I was like, I didn't know what to do at that point. I was so.
He probably didn't either.
That was pretty good.
How confusing would that be? Just
I've
like-
been in gymnastics long enough to not go that way.
Oh, we just got it. It took a second. Yes. The lessons. This guy was the perfect person to send in.
Almost had him.
Send in the Ass Monk.
He's not that gymnastic.
This guy's a gym.
The They thought of everything. They thought of everything. They knew that's why they got the gymnastics guy, because he knew that he wasn't going to fall for ass monk
That's right.
guy.
That's right.
And they're like,
This-
our intel says that ass monk guy is one of the worst.
All right.
We need a guy to be able to
Do you
think
think
on
his-
his feet.
Here's
and
what
have
the-
experience.
Here's what the people in this town didn't know, didn't realize.
Are we done
That he was a
yet?
gymnast?
No, They didn't know that they signed their own death warrants when they decided that a pommel horse would really tie the town square together.
Right.
Just like it was the most ridiculous thing.
Right in the middle of the town.
Right in the
Where the well or the clock or the something.
Right, they got
How about a nice fountain? Nope.
We need a pommel horse. That's like if he'd been running from the bad guys and he had run into a building and the lights came on and it was a gymnasium, like with gymnastics equipment everywhere. That would have only been the thing that could have topped it.
But they could have actually made that something. Like if there was an old stockades in there and that he just happened to use the stockades. Not the
right,
yeah, like a pommel horse.
But
like
that's not what happened.
Like public punishment.
No,
you know,
but
what I'm saying? Strap the person to it. You know,
but that's what I'm saying. They could have like actually made instead of just being a pommel horse.
Okay,
there.
but think about how insane this is.
That's the ridiculousness.
He finds a damn gymnastics apparatus in the middle of a town full of cannibals,
and apparently a bag of chalk.
Sir, our intel says that there's a pommel horse in the middle of this town. We need to send in a guy that knows gymnastics.
I was born for this.
The intel was perfect on this. You got to give them. You got to give them. They knew they needed a gymnastics guy to get into this thing because they knew.
You're right. That must be why. That must be why they had satellite imagery.
Yeah.
They're like, is that a pommel horse?
Can't be.
Get Kurt.
That should be a fountain.
Get Cabot on the phone right now. We're sending him in. And to his credit,
Space Force.
his kicks on the pommel horse.
Dead on.
He did
We're
do
awesome.
a great job.
Yeah.
He actually did a fantastic job of taking regular old, gymnastics moves we've seen a million times and making contact with humans without coming out of his routine.
And what I found out about this is that move, there's actually 3 gymnastic moves that are named after him. This is how prolific he was as a gymnast. And the move where you're flipping off of your arms and your legs are kind of up and spinning around on the pommel horse is called the Thomas Flare after Kurt Thomas. So that move he was doing was his move.
That's his end move.
Wow.
That was
like a
named
wrestler.
after him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like the tombstone for the Undertaker.
Which I thought was really cool, actually.
Yeah.
But it just made absolutely no damn sense.
No.
Right.
At all. It made no sense.
Well, it is Crazy Town, or Funky Town, as we're going to call it.
Yeah.
And when you're going to Funky Town,
With the
That's right.
no pants monk.
So he can climb halfway up a wall, but he can't climb any further.
No, I literally was sitting there going, just go the rest of the way.
Jackie Chan would have been up that thing in 4 steps. Just boop, 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 done.
Off.
He gets to the top like he wants to go into the building. He did try to go into one building.
He tries to go in the
just
window.
did a routine, guys.
Yeah, he was tired.
The pommel horse.
Tired.
Oh, that's
The
what it
pommel
was.
horse.
Okay.
When you're beating off a group of townies.
Wait.
When you're
What'd you say?
punching women and
you're-
mentally
He did
disabled
not
people?
go with
when
the
you're
monk.
when you're
He did
kicking a
not go
bunch
with the
of
monk.
townies.
What did he do?
He did not go with the monk. Kurt. That's not what.
Kicked
That was through
a
the other
bunch
door.
of townies.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, he was beating them off one by one.
Wait, no, it wasn't.
What?
No,
I don't. No,
No.
they weren't stepping up. And
All right. All right.
none of that. None of that. All right,
Okay.
carry on.
So he gets up to the roof.
Here, clean up.
He gets up to the roof. He can't go the next 4 feet.
Nope.
Maybe not even 4 feet. And you see this ninja wearing tap shoes.
Tap shoes.
That walks down to
tap, tap, tap.
tap, tap, tap,
The loudest ninja in the world.
pull him up. And we find out that it's his dad.
Dun, dun,
Hey!
dun.
His dad is unkillable because he fell down a ravine, took an arrow to the spleen, and he's alive.
Now he's clean.
and now he's clean.
Took a shower. He's got
like,
a
hey,
dead arm.
He's
though.
like, all I got is this useless arm.
I got this bum arm.
Why? What happened to your arm? You got shot in the spleen.
He fell on it.
Oh, that's how he caught himself.
The sack of potatoes fell weird. So they
No,
had
didn't he
backstory
say
to
like
it.
some trees broke his fall?
Yeah, he
All the
he
trees
caught himself with his arm.
that were in that ravine.
There were tons of them.
There was there.
Well, they
all the
cleared them
gray,
out.
the
Right.
gray trees.
That's why the flag guy was
sharp
down
trees.
there. He
Well, they-
didn't want anybody to land in the tree.
They saw that earlier. It's like, this is bad. So they cut them all down and moved them out.
That's probably what happened.
This is a year later.
Yeah,
probably
they
what
were
happened.
like, "Hey, you remember that guy with the bum arm? He got caught. Let's get rid of these trees so they fall right to the rocks."
And what's even more hilarious?
That's probably because they didn't have the guys with the flags.
That's right.
Down
I
there
see.
before.
Yeah.
What's even more hilarious is he reunites with his father. They hug. I love you. It's so nice to see you. arrow right to the back.
Random arrow to the back.
Every time a random arrow
God,
flies
I love the
in.
random arrow.
Now,
I think I know who I'm voting for.
This guy legitimately, I mean, we're talking about the random arrows and stuff. The second guy to die in the game, like with the preview of the game where the warrior was out there with him, he takes that arrow right into the back. And as he's dying and falling on the rope, still has one hand on there and twisting back and forth. The arrow is clearly attached to his clothes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And
I've seen
100% not
Yes.
to
Yeah,
his.
like folds over
It folds over.
Oh, there's all kinds of them like that.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, but what a
Catch
great
that in post.
What a great scene, though. Honestly, like I'm hugging my dad,
Very
and
painfully, by the way.
Yeah, and then Barry Gibb and Devo come up over the hill, and they launch some arrows into Dad's back. Like I just met my
Just
dad.
got him, and now he's dead
And
again.
he's dead again until bum bum bum.
Well, what's funny is I had the thought as he got killed, I said, oh man, you know it'd be great if we got a Hudson Hawk ending where he just comes back again for a third time. He's like, can you believe it? Right? And then it did. He's there on the horse like this. Like,
Yeah, I'll slumped over. Now his other arm now, but
he can't be killed.
Yeah,
He's
movie over.
unkillable.
I think it's to the credit of all the medical the ugly women medical professionals
Oh,
in that town.
tongue lady.
That's-
got him.
what happened to you, sir? I lost the use of my arm.
She just caressed his face until he felt better. That's all she does.
the toothless lady.
The toothless lady just caresses his face.
I like this.
So Zamir shoots him in the back, and then we get the big face off, right? He runs over there, and they're
The
like,
Two-Face guy?
We're gonna do
Well,
it.
they're following the
Zamir-
horses. It's a horse chase.
It's a horse chase first,
Oh, sorry.
and
but then they finally get to fight.
he jumps this probably 3.5 foot long chasm.
Yeah.
And Zamir jumps at the other
Untrained
people behind him. They're like, no, that's too far. Those two made it, no problem.
Yeah.
We're not going.
The two
Right.
people that didn't have any horseback experience, made
Right.
it.
That's right.
And everybody else is like, nope.
Nope.
No, those guys are stupid for trying.
Nope. What'd you guys think of the
That's a
fight?
plot device.
What'd you guys think of the fight between Zamir and Cabbage?
I didn't understand right away because like Cabbage starts to kind of climb up the tree.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, is he gonna like wedge himself in between there? Like, what is he doing? And then he does the I'm gonna run at you, like, and does the little like. It was like he was
Right.
getting enough run to just all right. And
he
then-
was getting beat up by Zamir at first. Like he was losing the fight. He had the
Right.
sword.
Yeah.
And then finally gets stuck in the ground because he, as you said, finally
he
threw the sword.
into the ground.
I'm
but then you
like
can't
the
take
most
the
curved sword
out.
I've ever seen too. It's like almost like more like a scythe than a
Scimitar.
yeah, right, exactly. And he's getting beat up and he's losing. But then he moves 10 feet over here by the trees,
And now we got this.
and now
yeah.
he starts doing his gymnastic moves, and it changes the whole
Maybe he
fight.
was too far into the sun and that sap.
It's like, I can't do my gymnastic moves here.
Maybe the ground was softer over there, so it felt
Wait, can we
more
just
like-
come over? Can we just come over here so I can do my flips?
Can we do
Come
this
over
on the
here,
mat?
and I'm gonna flip, and I'm gonna kick you, and then I'm gonna choke you with my legs.
What a way to go
And then-
out. If I was going to die, that's the way I would want to go.
Now, I've
Yeah.
seen him fight.
Between Cabbage's thighs? Does he just like does the flying head scissors and just breaks
Yeah.
his neck?
Now, we've seen him do some
Flying
fighting
butt
earlier
pliers.
as well. And he does like these wannabe punches and stuff like that.
Yes.
But then he finishes off with like a straight kick to the face from 1.5 feet away. It's like, if
Yeah.
you have that move in the bag,
Why
you go
aren't
to
you
straight
using
kick
it?
to
Yeah.
the face earlier?
Go earlier. Don't
Your
wait.
legs are strong. Why
Don't
not
save
use
it.
it?
Don't save it. Well, then he defeats Zamir and, like I said, breaks his neck. And literally,
over,
the movie
everybody.
is over in 30. Well, first you get the crappiest coup attempt of all time, where like 3 guards try to kill the Khan.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that coup attempt is quelled. Hey. Then they ride in. It's like, hey. Credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one half a sentence page of they put up this defense and America's safe Star Wars, yay, and it's
Right.
over.
They just threw
It's
in some text up
you
there.
think they're gonna
Well-
like go through a couple of little quick shots and scenes of explanation of
No.
how the no? That's
They did it.
Done.
Well, and then what a reveal for the Catwoman suit on Princess Judo Chop.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Why does she have that on?
I have this red outfit on, and then I'm taking this off because I'm pissed off, Dad. And we're gonna grab your royal water buffalo hat and let's go. Like, we're out of here.
They only kill like 4 or 5 guards And then by that point, Cabbage is back.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Hey, everybody, these guys are traitors."
That's right.
The townspeople are going to take over the bad guys.
Townspeople will cheer for anything.
Yeah.
All right, boys, it's time before we move on to the awards. In case there's anything we might have missed, now is the time to discuss the little things. Just in case you had something on your notepad, some little thing that maybe wasn't enough to have a full discussion about, but you want to put it on the record that this was a little thing in the movie that you noticed. While you guys are looking, I'll tell you the one that I thought of. At the one point in between the feast and the game where she goes up to his room, or does he go to her? Whatever. They sneak out together, the princess.
Yes.
And sneak out.
With the silhouette of the toothless woman, like, take this knife. And
that's right. Yeah. And they're out in wherever they are, and they're having their little conversation. I have to marry him. It's the law, like in every movie. Yeah. And
why does it have to be?
She runs away because the two guards are coming up, right? And when how he takes out the guards, when he just literally does a backflip, this is again, barely grazes them and they fall over, but like the one guy forgot to fall. And so he's just still kind of standing there. And then the next day,
that was the
Demir's like, shot. I know that you were out there with her. I know somebody was out. Oh, he goes, somebody was outside. I added this line of dialogue. I'm like, one of my guards was mildly inconvenienced by a backflip.
Oh, man.
Oh, anyway. Anything, guys, you want to throw in as a little thing from this movie? Because there certainly wasn't any memorable dialogue to speak of.
No, not at all. No. Well, I did enjoy the fact that, like, when Thorg goes after Cabbage, and he climbs up through that window, through the pig sloth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, like, what were you going to do? Were you going to hide in a group of pigs? Like, I didn't quite understand what was going to happen. And then those bad guys come in with the pitchforks.
Yeah, he was toast.
And they stab Thorg. And did you notice the pitchfork had 4 prongs, but the one that was stuck in him only had 2?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh.
I was hoping he would come back again.
Wouldn't that have been awesome?
Be like a pitchfork sticking out of him.
Sticking out of his chest.
And the broken
it worked for
got like a pig over his shoulder.
I mean, it worked for the dad.
Please bring Thorg back again, but it didn't happen.
And then also the dog lapping up the blood from Gomez.
Oh, yeah. I was kind of put off by the sound effects in that part. I was like, that.
Yeah, see, for the most part, there wasn't that much like really, really severe violence in the movie, but then they dialed it to 11 for Gomez. They're like, had him nailed to the wall. I was like, yeesh, guys.
Yeah, a bunch of spears and everything.
Yeah.
Well, and that made me think like the bad guy.
The town didn't have any Post-it notes.
That's right. Brick killed the guy.
Brick killed the guy.
Brick killed the guy.
That was him. Anyway.
Anything else before we move on to awards?
Gymkata 2.
There are no awards.
Is there going to be?
When Cabbage takes on Carrie Strong. Carrie Strong.
And he goes for her weak spot in the ankle. Freaking ankle chops her.
Yep.
Oh, man. That'd be amazing.
Yep. I was expecting her to jump out somewhere. But I know this was before her.
It was 85. Yeah, it was about 10 years early. But
I can dream.
All right.
I can dream.
You can. And now's our chance to dream a little bit and give some of our fake awards out to this movie. I'm sure we're the first in history to award this film with anything. So you're welcome, Gymkata. And
you're welcome.
We're going to start, as we always do, with our Will Patton Award. And the Will Patton Award is an award that we give out for intensity, for a smaller part that was just bringing it, because that's all Will Patton did in every stinking movie he was in. So, who is your nominee for the Will Patton Award?
Mel Brooks and Geraldo Rivero's son.
Buck Cartelian.
What did you call him?
His name is Buck Cartelian.
Oh, I don't remember.
The Con.
King?
Oh, yeah. King Comb-Over.
The Con.
The Con, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Con. He was over the top, he was trying to sell.
My vote went there, too.
To Burt Cartelian.
King Comb-Over, baby.
All right.
All the way.
Tell me why I'm wrong, Joe.
Good ones. You got the Two-Face guy.
He was super intense.
Yeah.
I mean, he did the acting for 2 people.
He did.
I'm just saying.
He had to act for the other guy.
Yeah. So,
I have to get this guy off my back. Hey.
Don't follow the monk, though. Seriously.
Oh, my gosh.
He's not even supposed to be in this movie.
He showed up to the wrong set.
I don't know, film him. I don't know who this guy is. Film him. Turn it off. Turn the camera off.
It was eyes wide shut.
When they were doing
Eyes wide shut.
That's right.
When they were doing the training montage, I was like, it feels like they shot something late night for Cinemax right after this.
That's right after this.
The monk was there for that.
They cleared off.
Okay,
all right, who's your guy?
So between Edward Murdoch, the Two-Face guy, the ugly woman, the hand, hammer,
yeah.
Okay.
and then the eagle.
Okay.
The eagle.
All right.
In that one scene.
All right, so which one are you going to give it to?
I'm going to get to Two-Face.
Two-Face guy.
Murdoch.
All right.
Since he was based off a real character, actually.
My Will Patton Award goes to Eric Lawson, who played Cabot's dad. I thought the acting that he had in those two scenes where he had to go dead arm, he had to act, he had 2 death scenes he had to play.
Could he at least smiled on the horse to show that he was like alive?
They weren't just carting his dead body.
He was over. Yeah.
He was propped up by the arrow.
Yeah.
They might have been Weekend of Burning him. I don't know. We didn't get confirmation.
We need a proper burial for my dad.
All right. Well, then that means, though, that Buck Cartalian is the winner because of 2 nominees. He's the winner of the Will Patton
okay
Award.
with it,
So, well, we move on to our Trash Can Full of Dirt Award. This is the award we give out to someone whose part could have conceivably been played by a trash can full of dirt. And we are not spoiled for choice, we are spoiled for choice, rather, in this movie. So, who do you guys got? I can't wait to hear.
Princess Judo Chap.
No.
I'm giving it right to her.
No.
Tell me at this time there wasn't somebody that they could have chosen that would have been a little bit better than
Techi Agbayani?
I'm so sorry. I just like her whole speech.
I thought she was good.
What?
Yeah, I
her
did.
whole speech
Listen.
when right before Barry Gibb catches him, like, come on.
I'm grading on a curve. When I say I thought she was great, it's against everyone else in the movie. I'm not saying she's great compared to movie performances as a whole.
A hole that you can bury a trash can full of dirt in.
The Death to America guy, because a trash can full of dirt would have been more authentically not a white American guy.
And wear a better mustache.
Fair enough. That's not that's a valid. Both of those are valid.
Honestly, the entire terrorist death camp or terrorist training camp. Because
Wait.
the entire,
Who?
The
You
camp
talking about
itself?
the guys that trained Cabbage?
no, the terrorist
terrorists.
camp. The terrorist
The
training
red,
camp
the red,
Where the-
striped.
where the princess was being held.
Oh yeah,
That entire
all those people,
everybody.
just trash cans full of dirt.
An entire army of trash cans full of dirt.
That served no purpose in the
The
movie.
acting would have been the same.
The trash can coming through those doors into the next trash
Fair
can.
enough.
That would
Yeah.
have looked great.
One
The acting
trash
would have
can
been the
holding
same.
a gun, shooting it randomly.
You had the same
He's
emotion.
kicking the cans over the edge.
Would have had the same level of emotion.
I'm sorry. I
No, you're right. You're right.
I can't just pick one.
You know what?
person in this
I'm
trash
giving
can
it.
with
I'm
a
giving
dirt
it to
can.
Bob Schott. Bob Schott, the guy that played Thorg, gets my trash can full of dirt
yeah.
award.
He was pretty.
I don't think he ever made
emotionless,
an expression
crummy.
once
Yeah.
in the entire movie.
I'm gonna go. I don't usually do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back. I'm retracting my
Oh.
trash can full of dirt.
Okay.
Is there a button for that? Is there something we can push?
Appropriate. And I'm gonna go with yours.
Oh, okay.
I am.
Bob Schott.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thorg.
that is a
you
better
won me
point.
over.
Thank you.
You won me over.
He was stone faced through the entire thing.
Yeah.
Won you over as fast as those two fell in love. That was quick. He's
That's- well, not quite that
this guy.
fast.
Oh, I'm going to retract my statement
That's
right
right.
away. God, man.
We know.
James does a couple backflips, talking
know.
to himself. Next thing you know, you're.
I'll tell you what I think. Don't you think it was Thorg?
Yeah.
I do think it was
You gotta
Thorg.
have
It was great.
clap in the middle.
Oh my god.
All right. We got to do our top 3 performers.
Top 3.
Top 3 performers.
Oh, this is-
Um,
This is hard.
I'm going based on beauty.
Number three was Techi Agbayani. I got her in my top 3.
All right.
Okay. I think I broke the chair. Okay,
All
there we
those
go.
flips you're doing over there.
Techi Agbayani is number 3 for me. Number 2, I had Richard Norton, the guy that played Zamir. I thought he was fine as
Yeah.
a bad guy, perfectly intense and,
Sure.
and fine.
The side work was great.
Buck Cartalian got my number 1.
What?
The guy that played the con, I thought gave the best performance in the entire movie. I really think I broke this chair because it just continues to sink.
Going down.
I think I owe Bevan a chair.
We'll just move it over. Just move it over to Bob's spot.
I'm sorry,
You
Bevan.
are just slowly sinking. The microphone is at your nose and almost to your eyes.
All right, who's your guys' top 3?
All right. My top 3.
James's chair's 1.
My top 3 is similar. I'm going to go with Richard Norton on 3.
Okay.
Rabali, so that was Techi.
Techi Agbayani.
Yeah. On 2. And then half-robed monk guy for number 1. That was the best performance.
You almost got me.
They come
He
in there.
almost got me.
I would have gone with him. I would have followed him.
If you were
I would have followed him.
This guy likes to party. All right.
I don't know where he's going, but I'm coming with.
This is gonna be entertaining. Worst
Is
case.
this a church? Are we? What's
I don't
going
know.
on in here?
I don't know. I'm so glad we didn't find out.
Yeah.
Who you got top 3?
Well, because I took Princess Buttercup Judo Chop out of my trash can full of dirt award, she's going to my number 3 spot.
All right.
Which then pushes up Cabbage Patch.
Oh, it's the first appearance in someone's top 3. We've got Kurt Thomas.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kurt Thomas only because you can't have Gymkata without Kurt Thomas.
Without the kata.
No, but I didn't believe a thing he said the entire movie.
Right.
No, but at least his gymnastics was spot on.
That's true.
Yeah,
which was enjoyable to watch.
We poke a lot of fun, but that dude is absolute beast mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, physically, he's
And then
a
number
specimen.
one, I'm going Barry Gibb, Lord of the Devo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Richard Norton.
Yeah, he was. I liked him as a villain.
Okay. Joe?
After learning that the villain guy, what was his name again? Sorry.
Richard Norton.
Raphael. Richard Norton.
Yes.
The fact that he went on to do all that stuff and then did Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
I just, that right there, mad respect.
Mad respect.
That man.
Yeah.
From there, I would say, I would say Princess Karate Chop.
I'm just going to keep saying her name because it's fun to say. Techi Agbayani.
Tetsuya Miyagi.
Miyagi?
Miyagi, Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi?
Kinky Mr. Miyagi.
We
over
have
there.
to end this episode.
Eventually. All right. So, yeah. And then, just because I like to be stupid and funny, the Eagle.
Yes. The Eagle, number 3.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. Fair enough.
Because I just like doing stupid stuff.
All right, boys. We've
I love your seating position.
We've came, we saw, we broke some chairs.
we broke a chair, possibly. I don't know. We'll see.
I hope people watch this episode. I really do.
We've kicked and prodded and poked this movie, and now it's just left to ask the question, the only question that matters. And we'll go around. What were you going to ask?
No, I was going to ask if
Well, we'll do that after.
if Barry Boswick makes this movie better.
I thought we established that. Yes.
Absolutely, it would.
If he was,
it would have.
If he was
Zamir.
Zamir.
Yes, absolutely.
In his Megaforce outfit.
In Lycra.
Yeah, he would have to gold Lycra. 100%.
In Lycra.
The unfilled.
It
Yes.
completely
Megaforce
flopping around.
outfit.
I think Arnold absolutely makes this movie better. What if it was, instead of gymnastics, it was
Powerlifting?
muscle kata, right? It was like they had to get a power lifter.
Oh, yes.
And all he was Mr. Olympia.
Yes.
And he came in to play this game.
And they
Did you see
just,
my beach ball?
and
Wait,
they just had a bar in the middle of the town
and you just
with
lift
weights on it.
He gets to the town square and it's a
bench in there.
squat rack. He's like, what were the chances?
Do you think? Hold on a second.
One squat.
And every time they came up, he just hit them with the bar.
The question I need to know:
That's right.
Would Arnold fall for the assless monk guy?
Oh, yeah, he would have followed him
Okay,
because he wasn't afraid.
Like Total Recall. That's
what I'm saying.
That's a total character from Total Recall.
All right, so we have to ask the question, the only question that matters. We'll start with you, Clinton. We'll go around.
Yes.
Is Gymkata a bad movie?
Yes. Like all of these, it's a bad movie. Is it something that you can throw on in the background and you got to watch it the first time, but then after that, You can actually just like, if this was on in the background, you can chuckle at this stuff because like legitimately, I watched it twice in the same day. The first time I watched it, I was like, I was making breakfast, I was doing other stuff, I was paying attention. We had it loud enough, The kid was at school, or actually no, it was Saturday. She wasn't at school, but she was
not interested.
The world anyway. But I'm watching it. I was like, all right, yeah, whatever, that's okay. Fine.
Sure.
I left. I watched it again with Kurt. It's like, this is pretty funny. It's so bad in spots that it's giggly.
All right. Kurt, is this a bad movie?
I laughed out loud. I'm throwing it right there with all the rest. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's a fun, dumb, laughable movie.
Okay. Fair enough. Joe, is it bad?
On a similar note, yes, it is a heaping pile of garbage.
Right.
But it is one of the best heaping piles of garbage to watch and then have a podcast about.
Yes.
So on that note, it is a awesome movie to watch.
I will
if you have a podcast with a bunch of your friends.
I will agree with that sentiment. I loved this movie. I laughed harder than movies that are purposely trying to make me laugh.
Absolutely.
Like there are comedies that big studio makes these comedies that don't make me laugh nearly as hard as this did. So I love this movie even more than those. It's objectively bad.
Yeah.
This is a
They
movie.
weren't trying to be funny.
But I loved it.
They
This
weren't
is a
trying
movie
to
that would
funny.
be great to sit down and watch on movie night with your buddies.
Oh,
Yes.
Not trying to go and hang out with your girlfriend you're trying to, impress,
You are not-
or the parents of.
You're not impressing her with this movie.
You're not
No,
sitting around having a
unless you're
good
doing
time
backflips.
with people you don't already sitting around and having a
Yes.
good time with doing nothing.
You who are listening, if you want to have a hilarious, fun night, grab 3 of your friends, bring them
Couple
over to
drinks,
your house,
maybe a
and
couple
say,
drinks.
we're going to have a movie night, and put on Gymkata, and you will have a blast.
Yep. And just say, let's just rip on this movie.
We literally
Yes.
are reinforcing the fact that it is more fun to sit around and make fun of something.
Yes.
Also,
Narrow it down.
if you want my copy so that you can have that done, you can email the show.
Are you going to give your copy away?
Or no,
Are you gonna give
it's
your
actually
copy
rent it.
it's actually this show is trash at gmail.com. So if you want to email Kurt and ask him for his copy of his DVD, send us an email.
Absolutely.
How are you going to?
I also want to hear.
Which one you're going to get? Like,
Well, whoever sends the best one. I don't know. But
fine.
I also want to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm desperate to hear what you guys thought of Gymkata. So please email the show. Send us an email. If you've listened now all the way to the end, you're one of our diehards and we love you. So shoot us a message. We want to hear from you. This show is trash at gmail.com. And so I just want to say thank you for sticking it out all the way to the end. Thank you for listening. Next week, we're going to be discussing a movie that was drafted by Clint Bush. And it's a film starring 2 of my favorite actors, Mel Gibson and Robert Downey Jr. We're talking about 1990s Air America.
This one is good.
A very poorly rated. It's under 6 on IMDb. Poorly reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes. But I think it deserves more love. So we're going to talk about it.
No sense to me that it's a bad movie.
Yeah. So we'll see you there next Friday morning, as always. For Clint Bush, Kurt Mummer, Joe Gorotowski, I'm James Hauser. Thank you for listening.
I got scissors at the shop. I said we go buy some ropes and see where this takes us.